If you have followed our channel and articles for any time, you'll know that for the past 3 years we have experienced severe droughts, and that both vegetation and wildlife suffered badly. This spring that changed, and we had a lot of rain. The result is that the wildflowers are back, so are the hoopoes, you can hear one in the background, and it is a great time for tortoises. Let's take a look at some of the individual species and plant communities that are in flower during March to early May. We can't cover every species here, but these are certainly some of the more common ones. Of course, not all of these plants are actually eaten by tortoises. We'll come back to that subject separately, but they are all very characteristic of Testudo Graika habitats here in southern Spain at this time of year. It's extremely important to note that there are absolutely zero fruits available anywhere in these habitats at this time of year, and that even later in the year they are very scarce indeed. Fruit plays no significant part of the diet of this species. They graze upon a wide cross-section of seasonal leaves and flowers, and that provides for all of their needs. Exactly the same applies to carrion. While tortoises will eat almost anything if they encounter it, such encounters are exceptional and are categorically not representative of their core diet. Tortoises are not the only animals on the move in these ideal spring conditions. Look closely too at the substrates and surface textures in these habitats. They range from very loose and sandy to quite hard and rocky. Typically, these different substrates will favour one type of plant community over another. We used a variety of data loggers and handheld instruments to take literally thousands of measurements. We were especially interested in the UVB and temperature levels during the morning basking period. The results may surprise you. They are a very long way from the numbers often suggested for captive animals. Frequently, basking zones of 30 Celsius plus are suggested, with UV index levels of 3, 4 or even higher. Yet, in the wild, tortoises typically cease activity and head into shelter as ambient temperatures approach or exceed 30 degrees. They are most active at much lower temperatures, using basking postures and incoming solar radiation to elevate their body temperatures by as much as 12 degrees above ambient. The reason for this is quite simple. UV levels and ambient temperatures are both affected by the angle of the sun in the sky, and during basking and activity periods in both the morning and late afternoon, this angle is low, limiting the intensity of solar radiation reaching the surface. Peak levels occur around midday to early afternoon, and at these times it is just too hot for tortoises, especially as spring advances. Eventually they cease all activity and enter their summer estivation period. We've just entered a really nice dense patch of esparto grass, and we've mentioned esparto grass before in connection with Testudo Graika here in Spain. This is a very important plant. It is the prime microclimate that they use to retreat into at night. It's also an area where they will dig down under that into the roots in brumation. And interestingly too, it can provide an effective refuge in case of wildfires, because by burying down under there, there's a little bit more moisture in the roots, and this is pretty tough stuff. And it does tend to protect them, at least most of the body, in the event of a wildfire. So you get far higher survival rates in tortoises that have managed to get into and under esparto grass than if they were caught, say, out in the open in a wildfire. So this is a great plant for tortoises. They don't eat it. It's really, really tough. Even by tortoise standards, this is incredibly tough stuff. In fact, they used to have a whole industry based around esparto grass, making hats and baskets and things like that. It is woven into all sorts of things, rugs, mats, that kind of thing. So 100 years ago, this was a very, very important kind of crop plant. But now it is quite endangered because people don't see value in it to the same degree. But of course, the tortoises still see value in it, so it's very important that we do preserve it. This is a really great example of esparto grass, and it is exactly the type of habitat that Testudo guaica really do very, very well in.